Today I would like to talk a little bit about the final keyword and why it is important to use on your data-bound properties in JavaFX. I previously mentioned that it's good practice to use this keyword, and let's talk a little bit about why that is. First, let's understand what the final keyword does. So when you use the final keyword in front of a variable like this, what you're essentially saying is that this variable can be initialized once and then never again. So this might sound a little confusing to you because obviously we have been and want to be able to set the value inside of these properties and have that value be updated on our user interface. And we've done that quite successfully in the previous tutorials. However, you'll see that the way that we're doing this is by utilizing the set method, and then we're able to change the value inside of this property. The difference between what we're doing here and what we're not doing with object assignment is we're not creating a new simple string property every time we do this. So, for example here, if I said two-way input property, two-way input, and I wanted to create a new simple string property and set it to some value, you'll see here that I have this red line underneath that is the compiler's way of telling me that this assignment is not allowed. Why does this matter? Why is it important that we set the content of a property through the set method versus actually creating a new object and doing the assignment that way? The reason that this is important in user interfaces has to do with the way that data binding works. So here, when we're binding this text property to our string property, these are actually connected through reference. And so when we create a new object, when we re-instantiate this input property, we're actually breaking that reference, and therefore we're breaking the data binding. So let me show you a little example of what I mean here. In this example, we have the combo box set up to list A, just like we have in previous tutorials. And this time I'm going to, when the button is clicked here, I'm going to actually change list A to have some new values. First, I'm going to clear it out, however. So here we can observe when we click the button, we can look at the contents of list A. We can see that they have been assigned to the new values. However, when we actually look at our combo box, we'll see that it has been cleared but not reassigned. And again, this has to do with the fact that when we use reassignment in this fashion, we're breaking our data binding between the list and the combo box. If we put final in front of this, however, like I am encouraging you to do, you'll see now that again the compiler tells us that we cannot make this assignment, and we're doing some defensive programming here in protecting the programmer from making this mistake. We can do this assignment in a variety of other ways. One thing that is perfectly legitimate to do is to use the set all method here, and when we run this, you'll see now that our combo box will behave as we desire. This might seem like a trivial example and that you would never make this mistake. However, as your user interfaces get more complicated, these types of mistakes are easy to make without realizing it. So I hope I've given you a better understanding of why it's important to use the final keyword in your data binding, and that you'll make it your practice to do that pattern from here on out. Thank you very much.